My name is Robert, and this is my brother David. We are going to start painting the outside of my tiny home located at the incredible tiny homes community called The Grove next. All this time I thought I was the star of the show. I have read most of your comments, and there are a few people that commented about this lamp and how much they enjoyed it. I said, what lamp are they talking about? I don't have a lamp that's even been set up in the tiny home. It's still in the box. Then I said, it's this lamp. So thank you for commenting. I have been homeless since September of last year. Not entirely true. I have house sat at 2 different properties, and I'm blessed for that. And now I'm on my 3rd and final leg before I move into my tiny home in the great area of Newport, Tennessee, called The Grove, and I am blessed that I'm staying with my brother David in Atlanta. Speaking of my brother, he and I made a trip last weekend, leaving Atlanta on Thursday night afternoon, and we spent Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in that area, staying at the Best Western Inn in Newport, and painting the outside. Now, we're not going to have a lot of video of us working because I either had my hands covered with paint or in a paintbrush in one hand or a roller in another, and it was crazy busy and we were just hustling. But you're going to like the video coming up next. When you paint the exterior, you might be under the mercy of Mother Nature. That was the case when we arrived very early on Friday morning. Since the exterior walls were too wet to paint, we had to improvise and move into the inside. I got my brother, David, to paint the loft area, and I worked around the wood trim around the kitchen window and the baseboards in the bath. Then after the exterior walls were dry, we used a rag and applied white vinegar on those walls to remove any acid and any debris. This is an important step and must not be overlooked. Finally, we were ready to prime the exterior steel walls as my brother got on the 8-foot ladder and painted the top while I painted around the windows. Once again, we were painting with the Sherwin-Williams Pro Industrial Pro Acrylic Primer, and our goal was 2 coats. Many owners of Incred-I-Boxes might feel that this is an overkill. However, it is my opinion that you have only one shot of this process. Take your time and do it right. I am so pleased and glad that I upgraded from an 8x16 to the 8x20 floor plan regarding the house in the Grove. However, your roof line goes from about 10 feet high to 13 feet high. And that can be an issue if you only got an 8-foot ladder. I'd like to thank Justin of Incredible Tiny Homes for providing us a ladder to use and borrow not only this weekend but the weekend before. But if you're trying to get a person on an 8-foot ladder to reach 13 feet, that doesn't work, and that's a no-no. So we had to scramble on Friday afternoon to find us a rental ladder if we could, and we found one, so I'm going to put that information out for you. As you go past Newport, go back into Newport, get on I-40, and you head toward Asheville. It's the next exit, and it's about 3 miles down the road. So it's reasonable and something that you can use. Now imagine we had to carry a 14-foot. Now it's 28 feet and when you extend it, but it's 14 feet closed. And we put that in the SUV, so we had about 6 feet sticking out. And imagine us driving around in that. And we had a good time and got there safe and sound. Hit the button. It is approximately 10:30 Saturday morning. And this is going to be a huge day as we're finally going to get some pizzazz and color on the tiny home. Finally, after priming the front wall and the side wall with the ingress window with 2 coats of primer, we were ready to paint the finished coats of paint. Once again, we are using the Sherwin-Williams Pro Industrial DTM Pro Acrylic Paint. The color of the main house walls is Sage SW2860, and the corners and the lower trim of the house is Sage Green Light SW2851. David and I first painted with a brush around the windows, around the door, underneath the roof line, and the lower section of the home which is called cut-ins. Then we took an 18-inch roller and painted the main walls. Please stay tuned at the very end of the video as David and I will interact with an interview which should be fun. Once again on Sunday morning, Mother Nature affected us as it had rained the night before. Therefore, I will show you some images of those areas that we did paint on the inside. Then I will show you a short video of the exterior, and we didn't have time to paint the front door. That'll have to be next trip. If you need a place to stay in Newport when you visit the tiny town community or waiting to move in, I would recommend the Best Western Inn on Crosby Highway. They have a wonderful breakfast bar included to start your day, and everyone is accommodating and pleasant to work with. In fact, the manager named Eric provided David and I a set of tickets to the Cook County Bluegrass Festival on Saturday night as we were entertained by the 14 Grammy winner Dan Tremensky Band. What a wonderful way to celebrate our hard work. As promised, we have this interview or discussion between myself and my brother David. We're in his lovely home in Atlanta. And David, first of all, I want to say how much I greatly appreciated you being up there for the weekend. There's no way that this is a one-person job. You just can't do it. You know, in a 13 ladder, we were working together, getting paint ready for you and getting paintbrushes cleaned and so forth. I greatly appreciate your help, and it was just a blessing to me. And what'd you think?
Rob, I wouldn't let you go up there on your own. I wanted to see what was going on in Newport, Tennessee. Yeah, it was fun. It was just great companionship, getting to know you better. I thought it was pretty neat. The Grove, a lot of homes in the Grove. But I thought, again, I met several people in the Grove and around the community that were really fun and neat. And I'm sure you're going to get to know more and enjoy the times. What did you think, if I think about some of the good things they had there? What were some of the thoughts that you may have had that brought up some concerns for you?
Probably one concern would be the parking as you back up into the parking spot. That the way that they have the drives, I believe the drives are directly behind each other and face each other. So you've got to be very careful when you back up that you don't back up too far and hit the other car. What did you think, Dave? Was there one improvement that they could work on in the Grove?
Rob, there was only one that I thought about. Where's the water spigot? I wanted to hook up a hose, and maybe they said there was no spigots there, but to me that would have been a simple alternative right where the plumbing was and where the water comes out of the ground. But yeah, otherwise, great community, friends, looking forward to coming up there. Number one, to go to the Smoky Mountains, look around, maybe do some biking, some hiking, and just enjoy the lakes that are around, that river that flows through, the Pigeon River. That was pretty neat. And Rob, I enjoyed it. Thanks for letting me get on the show.
Well, you're welcome, David. And I am going to look forward to spending time with you and learning how to bass fish and getting on the rivers and do some hiking and maybe some mountain biking. So now we're going to have that surprise coming up next. The wonderful news is my YouTube channel has reached 1,000 subscribers. And this is so great. And I want to thank everybody. And if you please like the video, please hit the like button. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. And I want to thank you tremendously.